Hi everyone, I'm Anagha from Access Language School, and in this video let us discuss about the very first part of speech, that is nothing but nouns. Now nouns are present everywhere in our day-to-day life whenever we try to write something, whenever we speak something, whenever we listen to something and read something. Now the problem is that although we know about nouns or what a noun would look like, but we are not able to recognize the different types or different varieties of nouns which we confront when we perform the above mentioned functions. So in this particular sessions, let me tell you about some of its varieties. Now the very first thing is, what do you mean by a noun? Now noun is something, it's a word which denotes a specific name of a person, a thing, a place, an idea or a group of ideas. And in a sentence or in a particular sentence, noun does not have a single function. Usually we have this notion that noun has the only function of performing as a subject. But apart from performing as a subject, it has several other functions, like it can function as an object in a sentence. It may be a direct object or an indirect object. It can also function as a subject and object complement, or it can function as appositives or adjectives. Now, what do you mean by proper nouns and common nouns? You might be aware of these two varieties. And distinguishing between the proper nouns and common nouns is one of the most important things. It is very, very important. So what do you mean by the proper nouns? Proper nouns are those nouns or those words which refer to a specific person, place, thing or an idea. For example, when I say Canterbury Tales is written by Geoffrey Chaucer. So here in this case we have two proper nouns, Canterbury Tales, which is the name of the book, and Geoffrey Chaucer, who is the author of the book. So here in this case, one proper noun is present at the beginning of the sentence, another one is at the end of the sentence. So you need to take into account that whenever you see a proper noun, it should be always capitalized or written in an uppercase, irrespective of in whichever part of the sentence it may appear. Now another example is when I say Deepavali is a festival of lights. So in this case, Deepavali would be the proper noun. It's a name of a festival. So D should be capitalized. Then what about common nouns? Common nouns, which are also known as generic nouns, refers to a common group of people or things or any entity it may be. Now for example, when I say a boy is running behind the bus. So here we have two common nouns. One is the boy, another one is the bus. So in this case, we do not get an identity, or identity of the boy or a bus is not revealed. Instead, it refers to a common group of people. Some boy is running behind some other bus. That is what we get the general notion. Now, common nouns are again divided into three types. First one is concrete nouns, second we have abstract nouns, and then collective nouns. Now, what do you mean by concrete nouns? Now, concrete nouns are those nouns which can be, or those things which can be perceived with our senses, which are present in actuality. For example, when I say my smartphone is not working. So in this case, the smartphone is the concrete noun which can be perceived with our senses. Then what about abstract nouns? Abstract nouns are the just opposite of concrete nouns, which cannot be perceived with our senses. For example, when I say it took a great lot of courage and determination in order to pass through the examination. So courage and determination are the abstract nouns which cannot be seen, which cannot be touched, but it can be only experienced. Then what about the collective nouns? Collective nouns refers to a group of people or a group of things or a collective group of something. Now when I say that the herd of elephants chased us when we were going through a journey. So here the herd of elephants refers to the collective noun. Now, as I already mentioned before, apart from being functioning as a subject, nouns has various other functions, or it assumes various other functions. The very first function is the noun can function as an object. Now, for example, it can be an indirect object or a direct object. When I say exchange the sheets with her or exchange the answer sheets with her, in this case, answer sheet is the direct object and her is the indirect object. Second thing is, it can function as a subject or an object complement. Now what about a subject complement? In the case of subject complements, you can find linking verbs like become or to be or seems. For example, when I say that Philip is to become a doctor. Here it is a subject complement. Then what about object complement? In this case, a process of creation or making is indicated. Now when the priest says that, now I pronounce you both as husband and wife. So this is what we mean by object complement. Then we have nouns functioning as appositives and modifiers. What do you mean by appositives? Appositives are those nouns which follow a particular noun in order to provide much more details regarding it. For example, when I say, my husband Ben is a physiotherapist. So I'm trying to add some detail to my husband. That is appositive. What about modifiers? Modifiers have the same function as that of adjectives. Now if I say Sarah is a walking encyclopedia, that is a modifier. Now there are plural nouns which are present in English language. Usually how do we form plural nouns? By adding s or es to the base form. For example, book, books, class, classes. But there are certain exceptions like child, children, then also woman, women. So we have certain exceptions. Now then we have countable and uncountable nouns. What are countable nouns? Those which can be counted. That is the plain definition of countable nouns. And uncountable nouns are those which cannot be taken count of. For example, the liquids. It can only be measured, it cannot be counted. And the last one is possessive nouns. What do you mean by possessive nouns? Possessive nouns are those which shows some kind of authority or a possession over something. When I say that the baby's doll is broken. So whose doll is it? It is the baby's doll. So we usually recognize it by an apostrophe. Second thing is if I say that the doctor's cabin is perfectly clean. So whose cabin is perfectly clean? It's the doctor's cabin which is perfectly clean. So in this way we can recognize the possessive nouns. So these were certain varieties of nouns which you may encounter whenever you speak in English, whenever you write or read or listen to the English language. And I hope it was useful and informative. Thank you.